Willie. Touch Willie. Is it on? This one? Good morning. Can't nobody hear me? Testing. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Good morning. Good morning. Testing. Good morning. They say they still can't hear. Good morning. Testing. Can everyone please have your seats so we can get started with today's show? Testing. I'll have to hold this up. Yeah, I wanted to go up a little bit so I don't have to lean down. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Can you please grab your seats for me? Good afternoon. That's better. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you please grab your seats for me? Good afternoon. I'm Marlon Hollins, Assistant Athletic Director for Advancement for the Southern University Athletic Department, and I'd like to thank you for witnessing history today as we name the 15th head coach of the Southern University men's basketball program. As an alum, they always say God must be a Jaguar because the sky is blue and the sun is gold. So today we'd like to welcome you to this auspicious occasion. Thank you for your time. Thank you to the Jaguar Nation who's tuned in on Jaguar Sports Network. Thank you to the media who's available for questions and to highlight the great things we have going on in Southern University Athletics. And the next voice you will hear from is Athletic Director Roman P. Banks. Again, thank you.
Marlon put the P in my name. Too many people don't do that. So obviously he knows me very well. But obviously I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and engaging with us today for this great moment. And you know, this is a surreal moment for a lot of us. And it's always hard as an athletic director, you know, when you're searching and finding a coach. And it's something that in this department and personally as the athletic director that I don't take for granted. Because more often they spend more time with you than they spend with their own family. And so we'd like to always think that we're bringing in not a good person, just X and O wise, but a good person that will be kindred to all the other coaching staffs and support staffs for this athletic department. And so, you know, finding this search, I had to take all that into account. And I'm thankful for our committee that we had to help us navigate through this process. Thank you all for volunteering your time. I know we was able to get at least one lunch out of it, and I owe you all another one, but I really want you all to know that I appreciate you coming to the office, sitting in long hours with us, giving yourselves to Southern University Athletics. I'd like to recognize those committee members. If they here, they can wave their hand or stand, and everybody can hold their applaud till the last name is called. But that was consist of Booster Club members, faculty members, support staff, and also the senior level staff of our department here at Southern University Athletics. The first name is Willie Hughes, known as Big Willie. Arnold Roberts, one of our basketball alums. One of Jeff Connors, our longest tenure coach here at Southern University Athletics. Matthew Valaire, who is not here today, represent the Hardwood Club and one of our largest supporters here for athletics. Dustin Cravens, in the house today, one of our corporate sponsors. Our own Mr. Henry Baptiste, I would say Chicken Shack, but he's retired now, and he let us know that. Melvin Chambers, who represented the Six-Man Club. And then my staff, Rodney Kirshner, LaShonda Sturgis, Philippe Carter, and Ajane Rodney. Once again, thank you all for your time. I see we have a couple people in the house, but I will like to give a shout out to all our staff that's in the house here. Thank you all for coming and helping me welcome in our next coach. But I do see one of our own greats in the house, and he's still one of our largest supporters here. And I asked him to stand. That's our own legend, Coach Nathaniel Deneau, our volleyball coach at the house. All right, so in searching, we had a criteria in finding this search for our next coach to bring us back to the standard is one that we looked at, or I looked at, and put some things in front of the staff and committee is being able to look at the past coaches that have had great runs and success here in basketball. When you're talking about Coach Stewart and you start talking about Coach Joe as such, and you start talking about looking at their pedigree, where they come from, and how they surrounded a winning program here. And so we took that all into account, and one thing that struck out to me is that they had a lot of stability. They wasn't, I would call, well-traveled all over the world, but they was, everywhere they went, they impacted the programs that they were at. And they was in kindred of the location of where they were. Another thing was that they were able to come here and reignite, create that environment with our city and our area with high school coaches, and the high school coaches really felt like they were a part of them. And so some of these factors came and to be able to prove themselves wherever they been as a recruiter, they always brought in one of the top players in their conference and created a good atmosphere for recruiting. And so, you know, some of these are kind of the things that we put out on the table. And obviously today, as we navigated through that process, we had great candidates. And I must say, if they're looking or listening, I think all the candidates that applied, we went through a plethora of candidates, and we had great candidates. But, you know, at the end of the day, only one emerged. And the person that emerged is that I've been knowing him for quite some time. And the thing about it is that this business separates you so much. And though we don't see each other be able to communicate, but we always kept up with each other. And when we together, we've been in an atmosphere where we're able to talk about basketball and know that we come through some of the same steps. And so I was introduced to, fortunately for me, I was introduced to this coach when I was a player, and he was an assistant coach. And the thing about it is, don't y'all say that I look so old, and and he looked so young. But when I was assistant coach, and I think when he was first getting into the business, he started early in his career, and our knowing each other started from there. And he's no stranger to this area. And so as you peruse his resume, you can see that he's been impactful everywhere he's been. One of the things that we try to do is tie the knot into being able to see a person grow through this process, through their coaching process, and also had experiences budget-wise and levels that also that will equate with Southern University. And we know that perhaps when he was the head coach at Sydney, that was probably listed as one of the worst Division I programs, but he was able to win there. And as he traveled to places like Nicholls State and go to those schools that's kind of likewise in budget of us, been able to win to help carry them to their best seasons, and great basketball players came out of those programs. And then we also wanted a person that's been at those programs, but also have been able to have some success to take our program and have a vision where those other programs are, as such as Lafayette, where he helped ignite that program. And if you look at the resume, how they built when he came in and won. And then his last stop at Tulane, as you can see, they didn't even really talk about Tulane much as basketball, but now under Coach Hunter's leadership and he as his assistant, what they've been able to do and create this type of excitement that's at Tulane right now. So I think he has the experiences of dealing with low resource institutions and also the experiences of knowing what the next level of basketball should look like as we can strive to get back there, because we're rich in history and pride here at Southern University and have our own bragging right here as well. And so what I'd like to do now is introduce to you all our next head coach, our 15th head coach here at Southern University will be, I know him as KJ Johnson, but Kevin Johnson here at Southern University. Can y'all give him a round of applause? So I'd like to officially welcome him in with his own jersey, if everybody can see that, and then has his name on the back. And just the new style is on the bottom, not the top, so everybody see that on the back here, Coach. So here you go. And so once again, if y'all will y'all receive our next head coach, Coach Kevin Johnson.
Wow, thank you. I am thrilled, honored to be the next men's basketball coach at Southern University. And just as important as that, I am excited. In the last week, I probably averaged sleeping about 3 hours a night because my mind has been racing. And I wish we could have practiced last night. I've been so excited. I want to start by saying I got a phone call this morning from my mom, and she knows me. And she says, first thing is, Kevin, everything in God's time. And I'm thankful for that. And then she called me back, and I got worried. And she said, you know, your father and I talked about this. And my father passed away in 2014, and my parents were my heroes. My mom's a 1963 graduate of Southern University. And so growing up, I spent a lot of time on this campus. So I'm certainly no stranger to this campus. And just those words were so comforting, and it just made the start of this day feel right, okay? I want to thank several people. I want to thank God because this is something I prayed about. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors because without you, this moment wouldn't be possible. I want to thank President Shields And after my face-to-face meeting with President Shields, he told me, Coach, there's 3 pillars. He said, number 1, this is what I want to see from you. I want to see the transformation of young men. And that is something that I prided myself on being able to do in every stop I've had. Second, he said, Coach, you got to raise some money. And I said, that comes with the territory. And then the third thing he said was, Coach, you got to win some games. And so I said, well, President Shields, that's what I'm all about. So I am your guy for the job. So I want to thank him. I want to thank A.D. Roman Banks and his staff. They did a tremendous job with this process, a tremendous job. This is the 5th time I've interviewed for a head coaching position, okay? And I've gotten 2 of those jobs. So if I'm shooting the 3, that's about 40%. Well, that's really good. But a tremendous job on Coach Banks' part and your entire staff. There was certainly a comfort level there in really making me feel good about the situation. I want to say thanks to the committee. You all asked me the difficult questions. There was no fluff to it, and there was certainly no fluff in my answers. So I want to thank you for your part. I want to thank the former head coaches that I've worked for, or the head coaches that I've worked for, because they have been able to keep my journey going. Just recently, Ron Hunter and Bob Marlin and Lafayette, they helped me keep my journey going. I want to thank all the co-workers, the assistant coaches that I've worked with, because again, no one succeeds alone. It's always better as a team. There's some people here that I want to recognize. I have right here Mr. Scotty Borrell. I'm glad you came. Next to him, Mr. Rodney Johnson. These men are all my brothers. Rodney Johnson's a 1985 graduate of Southern University Business School, spent a lot of time in TTLA. Miss Andrea Ward, thank you for your support. It means the world. Mr. Joe Johnson right behind you, my brother, my college teammate, and the newest fan of Jaguar basketball. Next to him, Darnell Silver, thanks for your support. Jeff Jones, Rev, thank you for being here, man. Thank you for being here. I love your friendship. And I don't want to miss anybody, but these are people that have supported me, and I'm going to rely on you. I'm really going to need you now. When you think about the history of Southern University basketball, 13 regular season titles, 10 conference tournament championships, 9 NCAA tournament appearances, second to only the school across town. That's remarkable. That's the standard. That's the standard. That's where we're going. I've had the chance to meet past coaches. I met Carl Stewart. I talked to Andy Stockton. I talked to Andy Stockton right out there in that mini dome. I played a game on that court when I was in high school. I talked to Coach Ben Jobe, and Coach Ben Jobe told me in 2015 he was scouting for the New York Knicks. He flew to town and came to Lafayette because we had 2 players who were NBA prospects. And I never forget, he told me this, and he told me on more than one occasion. He said, you know, KJ, I used to have a lot of power, but I really wish you would consider going to HBCUA. He said, I wish I could pick up a phone and call somebody. He said, I used to be able to call Dr. Spikes, and I know y'all remember Dr. Spikes. He said, but I wish I could. He said, I want you to go that way. So I had conversations with Ben Jobe. And then last but not least, Coach Roman Banks. He led this program to 2 NCAA tournaments, 2013, 2016, and I watched him do it, okay? That's the standard. That's where we're going. Players, past players, a legend. Have to first mention Bob Love. My mom was on this campus at the same time as Bob Love. She knew Bob Love. Avery Johnson, someone who I have known for a long time and have really enjoyed connecting with him the last week. NBA world champion, NBA coach of the year, college coach at a high level. That's the standard. Bobby Fields, who I saw play in high school, he actually played at the same time as my younger brother, Dave Johnson. His career here, playing in the NBA. Kevin Florent should have played in the NBA. I saw him play, played against him. I know he was a good player. Carlos Sample, played with Carlos in grassroots level basketball. Been knowing him a long time. I actually met Carlos before I met Roman. How about the job Carlos has done? But a connection to the program. That's the standard. That's where we're going. In my short time here, the things that I have done, I really enjoyed meeting with the players last night. When I looked at those guys, I saw an energy. I saw wide eyes. I saw some guys who want some direction. I saw some guys who were eager to get to work. And I also saw some guys who want to win. And it really made me feel good. We had a very good visit last night. Things that are on the agenda for me immediately, two things I have on my mind, and I think this is partly what keeps me up at night. Assembling a staff that is going to carry my torch. And my torch is not very difficult, but the first thing you have to have, and Coach Dooley, I'm glad to see you back here. I know you know this, but you got to have that culture right. And so assembling a staff, probably the most critical thing is going to be having some guys who can carry the torch of building that winning culture the way I want it built. And then the second thing would be, recruiting. We have about 5 or 6 scholarships that we need to fill. And just looking at the roster, we need some guards. I see some size there. I see some size you can compete with and win with. I have watched several games through this season, but we got to go and get some guards. And my recruitment out on guards is simple, but they're hard to find. I'm looking for some jump shooting, ball handling blurs. If you know where any are, please direct them to this way. So that's kind of where it is. I'm ready to get to work. And at this time, if you have any questions, I'll take some, and we'll roll from there. Yes, sir.
Coach, at Tulane, you guys have three of the best players from Baton Rouge. What is your kind of emphasis on recruiting local and getting guys to stay in the state?
I'm sorry. What did you say at Tulane? We had
three of the best players from Baton Rouge: Jalen Cook, Colin Holloway, and Percy Daniels. What is your emphasis on local recruiting and trying to get players to stay in the state, especially in Baton Rouge?
Okay. First of all, I'm a Louisiana guy. Okay, and I'll tell you this part of my story, and this is really a reason why I focus hard on Louisiana. I am very loyal to Louisiana guys. Now, we're not going to have a team with 13 guys from Louisiana, but I consider myself, when I came out of high school in 1984, I was very under-recruited, okay? I had 2 scholarship offers. I played at the University of Texas Pan American. I was a 4-year starter. I scored over 1,100 points in college basketball. I could have played for any school in this state, but I didn't get that opportunity. So with that background, what it does is it makes me want to really believe even more in local talent. And so we're going to work hard. And if you look at the places we've been, not just Tulane, even Lafayette, the last championship team I was a part of in Lafayette, we had 9 guys from the state of Louisiana, 3 from Baton Rouge. So I believe in Louisiana guys, and that's going to continue. Thank you for your question. Yes, sir.
You mentioned a big part of what keeps you up at night right now is finding your staff.
Right.
How's that been going, and where are you kind of looking for guys to fit your culture, and what exactly do you want that culture to be?
Yeah, I've got 2 guys I'm ready to add right now, and I'm still vetting a few other guys. There's 2 coaches on this staff that are working their tails off right now, Ryan Price and Jet Hillman. I've known both of them. And, so it's going to be an evaluation and about who we can get recruiting-wise and about building that culture. And my culture is this, and this really worked for us at Tulane. And in today's model of college basketball, here's what you have to have. You have to have a team that wants to be in the gym. The next thing you have to do is you have to be available for them. And there has to be a positive energy in promoting that. And that's kind of just the basics of the environment that we have to build. Yes, sir.
Coaching philosophy-wise, do you kind of want to get up and down the court like you guys did at Tulane, play at a fast pace?
Yeah. In a perfect world, I would love to have a team that's great in transition. I would love to have an offensive team that plays 5 out and shares the ball, and a team that doesn't care about who made the basket, but a team that cares that we made the basket. I would love to have a team defensively. My attitude when I played was I wanted to dictate what the offense did. I don't want to be passive. I would love to have a defensive team that's aggressive and that can do that in a variety of ways.
We heard from the athletic director, Banks, about how he knows you and met you. Do you have any early memories or kind of memories along the way before you got here and you two connected?
I got a lot of memories. One of the things that's really unique, I was really young when I met Coach Banks and I got to coaching. And it's amazing how we had so much in common. I think there was really not a lot of difference in his parents and my parents. And when I got to meet his parents, then I really realized that. So we had some similar beliefs and philosophies going way back. Both being in this business, sometimes this business takes you on twists and turns, and maybe you go through spells where you don't communicate as much. But boy, when we did, it didn't take long for us to come back to common ground. And that's what, to me, a friend is. Now, I'm thrilled that he's my boss. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be in practice more than he thinks. Thanks for the question.
Coach, what was really your selling point on wanting to take this job?
I'm so glad you asked that question. I was in the American Conference. The team of excellence in the American Conference, if you're a basketball fan, you know it's University of Houston. I became infatuated with how they had success, their culture, and so every time I got an opportunity to talk to one of their assistants or their head coach, I would question them. And one of the things I was able to ask Coach Sampson, and he answered it, and he was talking to me and Ray McCallum, who used to work for him. He said, I know you want a head job. Don't take a head job just to be a head coach. Make sure you can be around people you know and love, and there's a connection to the job. I got that here. That makes this time right. Thanks for that question.
Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I'd like to thank you for attending today's press conference.
Real quickly, making sure that I didn't miss anybody else. My boss back there, Coach Kirshner, made sure. Dr. Snow, stand up. She was on the committee as well, representatives from the academic side. So I want to make sure that anybody else I missed, calling the name out, is definitely on my sheet. I just can't see like I used to. Try to be cute, then bring my glasses. So anybody else, Rod? Mr. Baptiste, I think, came in. He here. Was on the committee as well. All right.
All right, so there's a testament of the community we have here at Southern University and at HBCUs. I'd like to thank you for attending today's press conference, for welcoming our 15th head coach, and now it's time to socialize, shake hands, and take some pictures of this amazing hardware we have. Again, thank you for your attendance, and go Jags.